if you don't vibrate in a frequency that you can connect with people, you can have the best coaching strategy in the world. But it's about connection. It's about how you vibrate. That's the law of reverberation and assumption that you want something. But when you really, really work on something for real, very genuine, with authenticity, everything comes to you.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Regan, and today's guest is Paulette Hernandez. Paulette is the founder of PAUwerful Strategy, a company helping businesses expand internationally through purpose-driven marketing, deep coaching, and bold storytelling. With over 20 years of experience spanning pharma, oil and gas, food and beverage, and IT, Paulette is known for creating campaigns that don't just sell, they transform. She's led high-impact projects from managing 5 million pounds of aid with Bethany Frankel after Hurricane Maria to driving a 6 million ROI for Rockwell Automation in the Caribbean energy sector. Also, she's a Cornell certified entrepreneur, a recognized TV contributor, and a 2-time honoree in both the 40 Under 40 and 40 Over 40 awards. Paulette blends strategic intelligence with deep emotional resonance in everything that she builds. So it's a pleasure for me to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Paulette.
Well, thank you so much. Great introduction. I feel honored, and for me, it's a great opportunity to share my knowledge with other coaches and the audience. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for us. So, Paulette, tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach and start your own coaching business.
Well, I think I have been a coach my whole life because I was giving some advice to my friends and people that I didn't even know at the moment. I was giving them advice when I was a little girl. But everything went like poof. I had my aha moment in 2010 when I was working with a nonprofit organization that it was helping small kids to thrive, that they were living in a project in Puerto Rico in the city of Bayamon. And there was a group of nuns that they were empowering these kids that, hey, your life doesn't stop here because you have this situation. And for me, that was very, very hard to see little kids that they were pregnant or people that they were struggling. And we are complaining about small things. So they inspired me to find out why are we holding ourselves back to thrive in life. So everything came out from there. And then eventually I had the opportunity to work with another nonprofit organization with the San Jorge Hospital, pediatric hospital, working with kids with diabetes. I was part of the committee that organized their golf tournaments for 2 years. And that really touched me. And then I was like, you know what? I really love this. I've been working corporate and also with my own company. However, when you see someone that flourished, that they transform their lives, for me, that was everything. And I was also healing myself because I was in the same pattern on and on and on with the same significant other with a life partner, and it didn't work. But I was thriving and rocking in the corporate world. And I was like, what am I rocking in this area, but not in here? What is going on? And I was always so busy that I was not able to accomplish everything that I wanted at that moment. So then I started to have some coaching lessons, and I discovered that there was some things in my subconscious that they were holding me back. That goes straight to your inner child healing. When you were a child, that you don't know one thing that I learned in Landmark in New York. And since then, I was like, I found my life purpose. I want to help professionals to thrive, to create their brand, entrepreneurs, but at the same time, help them to heal those wounds. So we are going to strengthen your brand, but at the same time, we're going to clean the house, your inside house,
Hmm.
because everything is in here.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. So you're not just working with their business, you're also working directly with them. When we also mentioned in the intro when we said deep coaching. So how does the journey look like when once you started your coaching business till today? How does that look like?
Oh my God, like a roller coaster. Because you are mirroring yourself with some of your clients. I've learned and I heal with them. There's some things that I still healing, I'm still learning with them. You don't know everything because you took this certification or this course. No, it's a process, it's a journey. And that's why I was telling you that it's like a roller coaster because you have your breakdowns, then your breakthroughs, and then you thrive, and then you go again. And but in the end, I will say that it's incredible. I decided to be a coach once I opened my business in 2021, I will say. And it was because I can't continue working like, okay, everything is numbers and this and that. And people were not willing to pay for their social media campaigns, or they were not willing to expand their business. And I was like, hey, something is holding you back. What's going on? And then I took one of my clients, a man, a gentleman, and I told him, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. And we had our coffee virtually because it was after COVID. And it was an old man in early 80s, but he didn't want to retire. And he defined himself as a stubborn person. And I was like, why you don't want to continue expanding your business and leave a legacy to your family and your sons? And he was like, because I am scared. And for him to say that he was scared, at the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe he's scared because his age. But then I started digging out more and more and more. And I was like, tell me about when you were a child. Tell me a funny story about this and that. So eventually, he said that he came from a very poor family and they didn't have enough money for school supplies or for transportation or even to buy food. If they get sick, it was like something crazy that they had to sacrifice food to in order to buy medicines. So that he had that in his subconscious that he was scared of losing everything or invest his money, and then eventually things go down, then he will not have money to sustain his family. So I kind of see myself in that, but a different way because I was raised in a family that I had everything. And when the pharma closed in Puerto Rico, everything went down because my father was a director at Johnson and Johnson, and everything went down. We lost almost everything. And then my sister got sick, and there was on and on and on. It's like when you need a spare wheel, and then you don't have it, and everything happens one thing after another.
Hmm.
So same thing. And I was like, that's right. I am also scared of getting the money and losing it again and have that feeling again. So that's why I am defining this as a roller coaster. And I will say that the coach, by only my opinion, okay, this is my perception, is that a coach that says that this doesn't affect me or I don't see myself in a client, then I don't think that is doing a good job
Hmm.
because this is something that is continuous. As I said before, it's a journey.
Definitely a journey. And just like you said, you're healing with the client, you're growing with the client as well, because you get so close to them and you're discussing topics that maybe they are not discussing with other people. I can assume. I'm not a coach myself, but I can assume. So typically, who is the target audience that you generally help with your coaching?
Business owners, early entrepreneurs, people that are thinking about leaving their job to start a career as an entrepreneur, or professionals that they want to grow inside of the company. Because not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they have ambitions, but they're too scared of growing, and I love those people as well because I can see that the hungriness and the willingness. And I also see a little kid that is scared of nothing because, being scared is something that is not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we plant in our brains and we create it to ourselves as a safety mechanism. So when I work with those people that they are willing to get help, it's the better. However, if I get people that they are difficult because they put some barriers, but they are reaching out, it's because they want to, and it's going to be hard. But you know what? That's great. And those are the most loyal clients that I ever had in my life.
Cool. And when it comes to the work that you're doing with them, is like we said, helping them grow their businesses, even through marketing and storytelling. But beyond that, is there something like more? You just talked about deep coaching. So, what is like the outcome that they expect from this coaching, deep coaching, apart from like growing the business on its own?
Yes. So in the beginning, it's kind of difficult because they want instant results. And I was telling them, hey, this is not a button that you click and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that it has to be a process. And I gave them a time frame, a timeline, like, working corporate. This is your marketing strategy. This is your coaching strategy. And this is how we're going to merge both of them. And the growth, it will depend on you. It will depend on you. You are the master of your life. So if you don't do your homework during our coaching, don't expect good results in this area because it's going to be the same cookie cutter that everybody's doing. People want authenticity. They want a story. They want something that they can relate. So that's why big companies are doing that. And they put in some algorithms to understand their audience and create more content adjusted to them, tailored to them. And this is a topic that people have been saying for a long time, though, oh, authenticity, this and that, but they were not doing it right. They were not really, really listening to people. They did their marketing forums. I was part of those. I did some of those when I was working in an advertising agency. But that's not all. People are too nervous to express what they really think about it, or they're too shy and they think if I say what I'm thinking, maybe they will look me like a weirdo. So you have to go deep down and understand them and really, really listen to them.
And what about your own marketing when it comes to you marketing your own coaching business? Where are people mostly finding you, and is there a strategy in marketing that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I post a lot of content where I engage with people, that I listen a lot of my people. Maybe you cannot see a lot of posts, but I have a lot of work on a messenger, WhatsApp, because I am engaged. And there's a lot of referrals, a lot of referrals. Word of mouth is like my top tier marketing strategy. My work talks by itself and the results that I have with people. Because if you do not a good job or not too efficient, then you had a client and buy.
Hmm.
However, if you start to really engage and listen, really listen without judging, and let them talk, you will be, wow, surprised about the things that you can find. And another thing is that to participate in different groups, forums, events, take the word out, travel, talk to people. That's how I found my clients in Italy. I was walking around and I started talking to people. And I was in a restaurant, and all of a sudden, the people from the restaurant introduced me to another person, and then on and on and on. And to the point that I also had cooking classes in there because they refer me to that people. So it's about connections. Technology is great. Oh my God. Don't get me wrong. I love internet. I can connect with everybody in the world. However, go out, talk to people, get
Yeah.
that behavioral skills that people can feel your energy because we have this. If you don't vibrate in a frequency that you can connect with people, you can have the best coaching strategy in the world, but it's about connection. It's about how you vibrate. That's the law of reverberation and assumption that you want something, but when you really, really work on something for real, very genuine, with authenticity, everything comes to you. And you say, wow, this is crazy. All of a sudden, this happened and I got this other person. So that's how I get people by connecting with them, listening to them, be very active, and don't put content just because. Ask them. One thing that I do on Instagram is, hey, I saw that you like X post. What do you really like the most about it, about that? And they tell me, would you love to be part of it? Would you please give me some topics that you're interested in? What are your pain points? I would like to hear more about them. And then you create content about that because your audience is giving you the content. You don't have to sit down and Google or ChatGPT to see what is the most trendy. Blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Listen to them. Talk to them. Don't be shy. They
Yeah.
will give you. They will be your salespeople.
Yeah, you can absolutely take qualitative data and do research with your own audience by just asking them. And I really like your, obviously you're a very good networker. So you do well also like in-person events and like, and just like you said with like the guy in Italy that managed to like get enrolled into your own coaching session. That is so amazing. And when it comes to, you said there's a lot of messages that go into your messenger. Is there any like outreach strategy where you're reaching out to people or just people are reaching out to you? How does that work like?
Well, right now, when I say that I have someone that is following me, I follow them
Hmm.
or I check their posts because I don't want them to feel like, oh, no, she's checking on me, you know? And I gave them some compliments. Or if I participate in a group, I invite that person to connect with me and then we can continue the conversation in private. Because one thing is to post everything out there
Hmm.
and very different when they are in a private setting. And we sometimes move the conversations to WhatsApp. So if you don't feel comfortable, you can put that once I read it, it will be erased.
Hmm.
So I gave them that option. So the thing is to give them options, not only one channel of communication.
Hmm.
And when they're ready, I try to make them ready to have a coffee chat, just
Yeah.
a conversation. I'm not thinking about, oh, the sale is always there. Of course, you have to sell, but it's not my priority. My priority is to make a connection with you and see if we can work together. But because that's another thing, not everybody can be your client, and you cannot be everybody's coach.
Hmm.
You're not everybody's cup of tea. And maybe your strategy doesn't resonate with someone, and maybe another coach will, and there will be another client that will make you miserable. They have to be a synergy between both that they can work together. It's not because I need a client, oh my God, I need to pay these debts. No, 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 no. Don't think about that. Things will work. If you think about that, you will attract more debt and
Hmm.
less clients. And people can see, they can smell that you're desperate.
Yeah.
So create that relationship first.
And for anyone like that wants to grow their LinkedIn, I can see that your LinkedIn is grown to like above 23,000 followers. So, is there something that has helped you grow that audience?
Engagement. Talk
And
to them, participate in their posts, that they can see that you're active, that you're not only posting and that's it. I don't have a lot of posts, but I have a lot of conversations. a lot. And I participate, and people want to be seen and recognized. Give them that. It's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
And you will
Sort of.
see how your audience will grow. It will be, you know what, this girl is always engaged with me. Oh, this lady's engaged with me. She always liked my content. That's so cool. Let me have a conversation with her. Let me see what she's doing. Then the curiosity comes over, and then you will be like, huh, I want to see what she's doing. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I like this editorial that she posted on Medium. I like this blog that she wrote about X, Y, and Z. Oh, you know what? She knows her craft, and she has a twist of witchy craft, in there, because they call me the marketing witch because I work with your shadows. And all of a sudden, everything is open, and they were like, "What have you done?" And I was like, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It was you." But yes, and that's how I grow my audience. Talk to them.
Yeah, I like so even in our case, we found that engaging has been very effective, and we engage a lot with our audience, and then they start engaging with us, and then it becomes like it's like a snowball effect after that. So even your posts will kind of like, if you're posting, they will start commenting on your post, and then it will have that snowball effect where you will organically grow with your audience in a way, just by engaging. Maybe other people will see your engagement with this person, even if you're not engaging with that person directly. They just see how you engage with others, and they come to you. So thanks for sharing
Correct.
that.
And LinkedIn have something that they have these questions that someone can pose a question, and then you as an expert can answer them. And do that. I do that a lot, and they gave me great results. I got great results. People have been reaching out, or I got new followers, or new connections or friends. So you never know. You
Yeah.
never know. And the important thing is that never quit. Even if things doesn't work out in the beginning, you have to be patient, because this is not like something that boom, abracadabra, and all of a sudden it's going to happen. You have to nurture your audience. You have to nurture your public. This is a trial and error strategy. It's not that all of a sudden I became so popular and I got all of this. So I go there. Don't be scared. And may I give an advice to everybody? It's like, I understand that before it was the cold calls or cold text messages or cold emails. Right now, there's a lot of hackers and people misusing those tools, and people are kind of, skeptical about responding.
Mhm.
The best way to engage with them is on social media. And then you can exchange your contact information, but they saw you, they know you, instead of, oh my God, this is someone else selling something, they
Mhm.
will erase that message. And oh, this is a scam. So that's the importance. And I'm going back to the same thing. Be engaged with your audience.
And just to move a little bit away from marketing, I wanted to ask you, what are some goals that you're working towards with your coaching business for the next 1 to 3 years?
Well, right now I am expanding my services in Latin America and other countries in the world. I am creating a platform. It's called Empower You, for on-demand classes that I mix your marketing strategy with coaching. And I also give some live sessions, because I want to reach out more of my audience, because I am only one. I need to clone myself, and I don't want them to have someone else, because if not, hire them instead of me, right? And that creates some tightness. I'm looking to the word in English. Remember, I was a month in Italy, and I'm thinking in Italian and Spanish. So to have these partnerships with some other coaches. Right now, I'm working with one from Mexico. Her name is Coral Mujais, and I'm working with her the development of my on-demand classes, and create these strong partnerships to have a stronger name, be recognized around the world, not only as the a coach like everybody else says, or maybe misled, thinking that this is the kumbaya thing and the witchy thing. No, no, no. It's something that you are magic. And I want people to see that through themselves. And that's my goal, to grow, reach out for more people with a very good strategy, business and marketing strategy, as I said, with this platform. So yeah, and I travel around the world and spread the word.
And what was the platform called again? It was called Empowering.
Empower you. It will be
Empower
launched
You.
pretty soon. Yes. I
Oh.
will be launching that next month. I've been promoting that platform, and it's going to be in English and Spanish for now, but it will have different subtitles in Japanese, Italian, French for now,
Hmm.
because those are the countries that I've been visiting and touching, and maybe Arabic, because I've been touching base in Turkey. Yeah, they speak different language, but most of them know Arabic and Egypt. So at the beginning, I have to confess that I was so scared of this. The imposter syndrome came. Even though that you have all those tools, that happened, even to the best of the best. But I am the master of my life and my mind, and I was doing some exercises and I said, no, this is my goal, this is my dream, and I'm going to make it happen. Whatever it takes, I'm going to make it happen. And I will not let fear to be my boss. And that's why I decided to be in front of the camera and start recording myself in English or Spanish. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's do this. Even if we sometimes have some verbal typos, it doesn't matter. It's all good. So that's what I'm doing right now. I want to expand my business. I am expanding my business, and yeah, that's my advice right now for everybody is that you have to do some automatic automations to your services so you can reach more people. And I'm in the process right now of that automatization.
Yeah, and just for me to understand the platform a little bit more, you said there's going to be a mix of marketing strategy and coaching within the platform.
Yes.
So is this targeted to your clients using it, or is it like other coaches that you're going to create partnerships that are going to use it?
Whoever wants to use it because it will help coaches how to integrate some marketing strategies. And at the same time, it will help them to discover some areas that they didn't know. Because if you only took this coaching program and you get your certification, let me tell you something, I did that and I got great tools. But at the same time, I learned a lot of hypnotherapy, magnetherapy, about inner child healing. And then you tie all of them all together and then you say, wow, I cannot go only to one resource. I need to learn more about it because there's some gaps that in one area are covered, but not in other areas. And then you will get frustrated. You will be so frustrated when you feel that you cannot help someone. And then you have to self-educate yourself with Google or YouTube.
Yeah,
So that's why I created this. It's for everyone.
cool. I'm looking forward to it. And
You.
this is coming up soon. Is
Yeah.
there like a timeline you're thinking?
Oh, mid-June. I'm still recording. You
Great.
know, we are that, hey, action, let's do this. Okay, cut. Yeah, still in the
So,
process, but I am so excited, not because it's my baby, it's my platform. It's
mhm,
because I want to be my own student. It was like, oh my God, like 10 years ago, I would love to have this for myself.
mhm.
I'm doing this based in my journey and things that I was looking by myself, and it was self-taught. Others that I took some classes, and I took classes from people from Mexico, Spain, Egypt, from different parts of the world, Romania, in the United States.
Mhm.
So yes,
And you said you're also recording, so there's also like within the platform, there's a course as well that goes with it, right?
yes, it's 9 modules, and it's covered for 9 months. So I will release them month by month, so
Hmm.
you will not be saturated with all this information, and then you can digest it. And I will provide some live classes, how to use some tools like Constant Contact, and Discord, OBS, at the same time that you are healing yourself, taking out all the fears, and be brave enough and start recording and start using those tools.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I think maybe when a lot of people are going to see this episode, maybe that even has gone out. So yeah, I'm glad you were able to talk about it. I wanted to ask you, in terms of investments in your coaching business, has there been investments that you feel like actually have made a very good impact in you growing your coaching business? And that could be any coaching programs, masterminds, communities, anything like that that you feel that actually helped you grow, or even if none of those, but something else that you invested money and then you saw a great return. Is there anything you'd like to share there?
Absolutely. So first of all, automation. This automated tool, funnels, email marketing using constant contact because I'm a partner. So I will be your account manager. Also some coaching classes. I had different perspectives. I had the honor to be in session with Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy, but I also had training in a landmark New York, but I also had with this nonprofit organization from Spain. And I invested in those courses. I was like, oh my God. In the beginning, I was scared and thinking, I have to pay this, I have that, I have this. If you start thinking like that, you will never do it. It's not going to happen. Trust me. You have to be like this, have a leap of faith, and do it. And in the beginning, you will be struggling a little bit financially, but remember, you cannot live in fear. You cannot allow fear to be the owner of your life. You have to have self-control and say, this is going to work because this is what I believe. And I paid for those classes. I paid for some resources and people in Mexico and Argentina that they're doing an outstanding job with this platform, and also taking out the word, putting out the word with the promotion of this initiative. So invest in marketing. Not because I'm a marketer, you can hire whoever you want, but invest in marketing. Invest in a good equipment, in a good camera, in a good microphone. Rode are great. Lining, things that it will be high quality. And there's other free tools that you can start working with editing your videos, and other very affordable. Start with those. But the thing is, start with something and invest on them. And then if you cannot pay for a lot, then start with what you can. Or find people that they believe in you, that they can help you, or other resources like I have been doing. If you have a company that is registered, go to any other college and ask them, hey, I would like to get some interns from your institution. I don't have the funds to pay them, but I have this exposure. They will learn this, and they give them a proposal. So try to negotiate those resources if you don't have the money. All the resources are out there. The thing is that you have to do your homework and find them.
And we also live in like a world where, when it comes to at least online tools, there's always like one tool that is the one that most people use, that is a premium one, and there's always like something that is for free that is
Yeah.
equivalent to that one that could help you get you started. So I really like that advice, and like focusing on investing on how you appear to your audience with your marketing, with your messaging, with your assets, with your graphics. How you appear is important, does have some weight into getting people to gain trust and invest in you. And maybe even participating in like podcasts or things like these where people see
Mhm.
the authentic you, because in a podcast is hard to hide behind. Because this is not something that AI yet is able to replicate. Hopefully, not.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, thank you so much for that. With your coaching business right now and the goals that you are working on, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing in further scaling your coaching business? What is like the main bottleneck for you right now?
When you don't have the right people around you to support you, to be your cheerleaders, then things can go down. That's why you have to be very strong, mentally strong, and believe in yourself and what you're doing. Remember that this is your initiative, your business, your dream, not them. Not that's not their dream. And people mirror their fears on you. Remember that that's their opinion based on their life, experiences. And for me, it has been very difficult because you have the people that you love, your family members, friends. They're like, "Oh, Paulette, come on! You remember that you tried that once and it didn't work." It doesn't matter. One example that I always give is how many times Thomas Alva Edison had to do his experiments until it worked 10,000 times. And now you're gonna quit because someone is saying that you cannot do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right now, when you say not having the right people, and meaning as a challenge for you with your coaching business, would you say you have a problem with either operations or hiring? What would
No, I would say people that you want to get some support, family members, because not everybody understand what you're doing,
Mhm.
and not everybody wants to heal. So they are scared of that healing, of seeing their shadows. They are seeing their true selves. So they are very opinionated. But I don't take that personal. It was in the beginning. It was hard, really hard because it's the people that you love. And then the things like imposter syndrome came over and the fear of being seen because, oh my God, they're saying that I sound with this accent, Hispanic accent, and they're going to make jokes about me. Or sometimes I forget a word in English. Oh my God, I'm not scared anymore. But it took me some time to realize that even though that I had the tools because I learned those,
Mhm.
but remember something, it's not the same to learn than applying those tools.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a great coach.
Yeah, you learn by doing for sure, for some of these stuff, and I'm glad that you were able to overcome that as a challenge, the fear of like the outside opinion, even on the closest networks, not just like people you don't know because you wouldn't care about them, but like people you know can actually have an effect. Right now, after like this, obviously is a challenge for a lot of coaches, but what would you say is a challenge that you still have right now, that you're still facing nowadays with
Oh
your
my
coaching
God, that
career?
I want to do so many things. I am only me, me, me.
Mhm.
And I discovered that that's a shadow that I had, that I wanted to be perfect. Perfectionism is procrastination. And for me, it was something that I realized recently. So I am letting go of that, even though that I want to do so many things, including a book that I'm going to launch with my coaching program, because I am very creative and I have a lot of ideas and I want to take them out like that with everything all together. But no, it's about patience. It's about calm down. Everything will work out one thing at a time. Take out the classes, online classes, then move to next step two. And there's something different between men and women. Women, we have this web in our head that we can do this, let's do that, let's do papa, papa. And men, and based on my coaching, and experience, they are in boxes, in compartments. They go this, and they move here, and they move that. And it's kind of difficult, when you are telling them, hey, you can do this all together. And I'm trying to mix both my feminine and masculine energy with the web and also with the compartment. So that's one challenge as well. And one that I have with my clients too, that you can do a lot, but being strategic and be meticulous about that. Not perfectionist. It's about having cautious. Don't be sloppy. Just because I forget, I'm going to take it out. No, because that's your presentation card. That's your resume. That's your business card, basically. That will talk about you. That will say who you are as a professional. So I've been like, okay, you know what? Now I'm focusing on participating in podcasts and groups. Some of my social media content. That's why I created my content calendar, and I will focus on one thing: the compartment, right? Going to my recordings and launch my product in June.
Well, I wish you great success with that. And
Thank you.
is there any final advice you'd like to give to other coaches who are looking to scale their impact?
Yeah, I would say don't chase success. Don't magnetize it. Vibrate. Believe in what you have. Have faith. It's like Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Read that book over and over and over. Follow the steps. Feel it. Have faith. And believe in something. Because if not, everything will go down. And that, for me, that's the most important thing, because that will keep you the vibration high. And I applied something from this book, The Secret. That one man said that he has his gratefulness, the grateful stone. I have mine too, and that will help you to increase your vibration. When you are in a place that you're grateful for things that you have, even the lessons that you got. If something went bad, say thank you for the lessons. Then you will see how everything will shift. And when things doesn't go right, you will see that all of a sudden it will be good. So don't chase it, magnetize it. You have to attract them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paulette.
My
It's been a pleasure
pleasure.
having you on the podcast. For anyone who wants to connect with you and find you, they can easily find you on your LinkedIn, Paulette Hernandez. They can find you on your Instagram. There also, is there a website they could also go to?
Yes, powerfulstrategy.com. It's PAU, like my name, and the Werful, like powerful, but you
Mhm.
start with my name, Paulette, PAU, powerfulstrategy.com. And feel free to schedule a free exploratory call. It doesn't have to be a business. For business, we can have a coffee together, a cup of tea. I would love to hear the audience, their feedback about this interview, and learn more about them.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.